I recently took a trip to Costco in hopes that the Disney Halloween Village would have an expansion pack. They had no expansion pack. Maybe next year. But what they did have, which they didn't have last year, was an entirely new village. Oh. But for Christmas. So let's get this thing unboxed, shall we? Yes. So it's literally the same setup as the Halloween Village. So I'm imagining it's the same people that made it. Or at least the same designer. So obviously we've got all our figures separated here. In a separate box. Just put this one side for a moment. And then you lift the first half of this to reveal the other pieces. I'm going to do what I did in the other village, is just mark out what the items are so I can put them back in the box perfectly. Oh, there's two houses. I didn't realise there was two houses. So is this... house 1, house 2, but no. House... ladder, I'm going to put on that one because there's a little ladder there. And this one is house. Not bad for writing that way. And then lights. And then tree. And then clock tower. So let's now get these out of the box and have a good look at them. And let's just get the figures out. Now I can already tell you that these are very well painted by just quickly getting things out of the box, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at Pluto, he's actually got painted on for where his whiskers come out. I've never seen somebody do that before. So these are actually very well made and painted. Even Minnie Mouse's eyelashes. So they've really put some care and thought into this. Pop batteries and everything, they are, all take double A's, except for the two lights and the gatehouse. They take the flat batteries, which are, they are the C. But they do actually already come with the batteries in these three, so you don't need to go and get some. It's only the double A's that you need to get a hold of, which I thought was quite smart. So yeah, let's have a closer look at all these items. I'm going to start with the clock tower first, because there's a bit of a trick with the clock tower. So obviously look at the detail of this beautifulness with Huey and Dewey and Louie. If I got them in the right way, I can never remember which colour represents which one. But then down the side as well, the back it's still quite detailed. Not obviously you've got your on off switch there as well. By the way, all these switches, they have a 0, which means off, and then a little clock, which means on, and I think it's also on a timer as well, so they'll switch themselves off afterwards. Probably, I think it's usually about 8 hours. Now the clock, when you switch it on, it just switches on this light at the top, which highlights the clock, but it's quite bright as well, so it'll actually be a down light for the entire thing. But the thing is with the clock, when I've got mine going now, as you can see the second hand is moving, but you really need to get your fingers around the side or your nails and pull it out so it's completely separate, which is a great thing. Let's just turn that light off. So you've got the clock separate, and it's got like this seal, rubber ring, there we go, around the edge that you need to take off but don't throw away. And when you get it, this pin will be out a little bit and it'll be blocked with this little thing, which stops it from ticking on its own. And when you pull this bit off, which is quite tricky, I use the tip of my knife. There we go. And then you've got all your mechanisms in there, and obviously a little teeny tiny battery that will want replacing at some point. But don't flip this upside down because it will fall out. So we'll just put that back. I was just doing it to show you. So once you've set your time, you use a winding dial to set your time, and then you push it in, and then that's what the second hands get going. But then you need to put the ring back on, because that's what holds it in place in the tower. But I'm assuming you can throw that bit away, but I'm going to keep it in the box just in case. But yeah, so then you've got your working clock, and then you just pop him straight back in, which you do have to press it in quite a little bit. And there we go. So that's a pretty impressive clock tower. I was going to be, because when I put in the battery, I was like, why isn't the clock working? And I was like, oh, this is going to be disappointing if the clock doesn't work. But no, it's just separate, that's all. So next up, we've got the tree. Very nicely done. I like the dry brushing effect on this. And it's the same all the way around. And then again, you've got your on-off timer switch. And when this one switches on, all the lights are all separate, which I really like that, rather than just it being a solid mass of lights. So I really like that. Then we've got the gatehouse, which is very nicely done with all the detail of the bricks and the stonework and the little reefs. Then switching it on, the Mickey heads of course light up, and it's pretty much the same on the back but without the reefs and the trees. But again, very nicely done. And then the lights are the same as well. You switch one and the Mickey heads light up, but the little reefs as well on the red poles. So they're very nicely done as well. I need a new verb over the nice, don't I? Then we've got this house, which has got a ladder on it. I'm not sure what they call these houses, but this one's only got an on-off timer switch. So let's switch that on. That's the back, it's quite plain. There's the side, and then there's the front, so it lights up all of the windows with a nice warm glow. In fact, I'm going to call this one a tavern because it's got like beer barrels out at the front, so it's a little tavern. But even the dormer windows, the chimney, very nicely done. Pop that there. And then the final thing for the big bits is this one, which is the main house with a bell tower, I'm guessing this is some sort of clubhouse with a little sleigh with presents. But this is all very nicely done. And of course Mickey heads everywhere. Then we've got the side. And then the back. I'll go back to the switch in a moment. So, the switch is, when it's in off position, it's in the bottom there. And then if you put it to the clock with 2 lines, it means it just lights up everything. So you've got an up lighter to light up the bell, these little lights, and then inside the windows as well. And then obviously that's a timer as well. But then if you turn it to that one, you get the lights and the music. Quite an upbeat sort of Christmas tunes. So they're the buildings. Then we'll just go into the figures. So we've got Goofy. Looks like he's about ready to throw presents or trying to walk with presents, which can be difficult for Goofy. And we've got Daisy in a little red outfit and a scarf. Very nicely done. And we've got Donald as well, bringing a wreath. Very nicely done. Seriously, the detail of the painting and the moulding of these is very, I'm impressed by these. Then we've got Mickey on a steam train. These all hook together as well, which I'll show in a second. Kind of hoping that these could have lit up a little bit, but oh well. Then we've got Minnie sat on one of the carriages. So they link up simply like that. Sorry, I'm trying to do this through the camera so the depth is off. But yeah, so you've still got the bendiness, but they're linked together. And then finally you've got Pluto sat on a carriage as well. And as I said before, very nicely painted. And then he can link up at the bottom. So as you pull one across, they all go across. So, overall I'm very pleased with this. Disappointed that there's not a Halloween expansion pack, but if you're listening Costco, next year. Come on, we need it. Now, the great thing about this Christmas village is there are other Disney Christmas villages as well, and you can add bits from that, and I'm assuming they're the same scale. I could be wrong, but I know there's Department 12, they do their own, and then Inesco, I think they do a couple of bits as well, so you can always add bits to this from that. So yeah, you can really expand the Christmas village anyway without having to wait for Costco to release anything. So overall I'm very pleased with this set. I think it's fabulous and I'm glad that I got it. I'm gonna go and try and set it up on a surface. I'm just gonna simply put maybe some boxes, just empty boxes, to mess with the topography a bit, and then put a blanket of wadding, so it's so much easier to make some sort of base for this one than it was the Halloween one. So I've just raised the bell tower house just a little, and then the clock tower even higher, left that house alone, and then on the Christmas tree just made a little bit of a plinth for it. And then I'm going to cover this with wadding, and hopefully it looks beautiful. So this is it in its entirety, with just a quick bit of wadding on there. I think when it gets more towards Christmas I'll be able to get some actual proper snow with some like glittering stuff to make it match a bit better. But I'm relatively happy in the colours, and even the lights in broad daylight, they really pop on the white. So I'm happy with that. I've basically just set it up like it is on the box, obviously, apart from making some of the buildings a bit higher.